Rabindranath Tagore. I probably said it wrong. And I want you to focus on this one little saying he said. And not only think of it an application to trees, but what we choose to believe in, what we choose to support, not support in our lifetime, what we choose to believe, what we choose to refute as false, the pursuit of truth, the retaining of human rights in the Constitution of the United States, things like that. The environment, or you have a cause or something that's important to you. That's kind of like this sometimes. We may not always see it. We may not always see that we did help, and that you did matter, and that your existence did matter if you were creating something good and not feeding into the madness is. And I might have said his name wrong. Rabindranath Tagore, with a little mark at the top of between the E and the S. The one who plants trees, knowing that he will never sit in their shade, has at least started to understand life. Like, I'm very certain that whatever I tried to bring awareness about or help with, I didn't go around broadcasting it, was hope. I want to believe it helps someone. I want to believe that even at my lowest, and I was out in California and the old guy gave me the videos and it was on the low key, and we did our little chain gang of spreading the news about the proof of the inside job of, we'll just say, several events in our country, but as of the most recent, the last several years, closely related to the month of September. And then a lot of us know that who we knew or how we knew, that it probably would irreversibly injure our lives for knowing the truth. But regardless of how many times I reflect upon it, or that I kept some of what I did a secret, maybe not a secret enough, is from the right people. It's unfortunate that more of us didn't care. Even if we didn't see the fruits of our labor. But maybe if we just cared a little more about the right things. Instead of exploiting our children and judging other parents who didn't agree with social media or didn't agree with early onset use of social media platforms and video games. That we believed in not over-vaccinating our children, and that there was something wrong that they kept upping the vaccines. Or that we went from a nation that you could simply travel across the country and not be violated like you're at some sort of gangbang operation in an airport. But they don't have to necessarily touch you, they just look at you. Just things like that, I think a lot of Americans hoped for. So if you feel like that the fact that you mattered, or that you cared, and that you hoped for the best, and that you warned or did the best that you could, but it looks like it didn't do nothing but just cause a bunch of problems, rest assured, by someone who has planted many trees on different properties and seen people dig up the very trees that I put in, or seen some trees grow that I left the tree, or the tree grew because I put it. It doesn't matter that it was actually a physical tree. But every time I planted the discount trees or picked up the little straggler somewhere, I would look at them and I would say, what are you doing? Someone else is probably going to dig it up. Or, because it's going to make their life more difficult to mow. Or, what are you doing? You're not going to be here that long. You ain't even going to see this thing get 3 feet. But I want to believe that just like the work I did, that nobody particularly knew exactly what was going on. And maybe they did. Maybe they didn't like the work I did. Maybe they didn't like that I cared. But do they like what they have now? I don't know. I just think there was enough of us that cared. Maybe it is the end of something. I heard someone say they never heard of a society rebuilding. Oh no, it doesn't rebuild the same as it was, and it certainly isn't going to rebuild with the same people. But yes, God has times where it looked like someone was definitely down for the count. and he rose them up again. So, but they were down for the count for a while before they could rise back up. So I think it's just going to be a long journey, and a lot of us, including myself, have to make some major adjustments on where we want our futures going. If I were to have played it right, but I didn't, and some of my own choices, I probably could have made it to a good 100. I don't know what use you are the last 10, but you can try your best to be still useful and not cumbersome and a burden. But active, staying active and living, liking life, embracing life, excited about things in the world, a zest for life. I'm glad that I can still enjoy songs that I did when I was 10 years old. It was that one light I had in the dark tunnel. And the fact that I can go back into that and kind of enjoy it almost the same way I did as a kid. I think it's a trait that's helpful. And I think it's those that have that trait that survive. I don't think it's the upright and the organized and the uptight and you do it this way and that way. I think it's the ones that know. And they don't forget. And they don't forget. And they remember. And they move forward. And they're still excited and curious about the next event. Or the next curiosity. Their next new exploration. Those are the ones that save the planet. And maybe there's different capacities for different people. But what I can gather, the herd mentality has gotten a little out of hand. And those very herd mentalities that thought that they were saving their ways are actually destroying the entire planet. Alongside our genocidal leaders. So, that's all I have for this, folks, is I don't remember much of anything different in 50 years in this country, so I don't know what people are talking about.